The Twilight books and movies introduced various vampires with different backstories and from different covens, but out of all of them, who is the oldest and how old are they? Over the years, vampires have been adapted to all types of media and given some slight changes to fit the style and narrative of each author, but what Stephenie Meyer did in her debut novel Twilight was unique. Meyer kept exploring her vision of vampires in 3 more novels, all through the often problematic relationship between vampire Edward Cullen and mortal Bella Swan. Edward and Bella had to overcome a number of obstacles throughout the Twilight series so that they could be together forever. They came across werewolves and other vampire covens in the process, and these weren't always on their side. The Twilight books were a worldwide success, which led to their cinematic adaptation between 2008 and 2012, with the final novel, Breaking Dawn, being divided into 2 movies. The Twilight saga was also a success, but it also left the audience with many questions about this universe and the characters in it, especially the vampires, and one of those is who is the oldest vampire in the Twilight world. Of course, with Edward Cullen as the male protagonist, the Twilight books and movies spent a lot of time with the Cullen family, but they also introduced other vampires, such as the Volturi, the Denali Coven, and more, with most of these groups introduced in Breaking Dawn, when the Cullens asked some of their oldest friends for help. Among those who arrived to help Carlisle and his family was the Egyptian Coven, formed by Amun, Kibi, Benjamin, and Tia. Amun was the coven's leader and was one of only 2 survivors of the Volturi's assault during the war between their covens, the other one being Kibi, his mate. Amun is also considered the oldest vampire in the Twilight universe, as he was turned before the Romanian coven. The oldest coven there is rose to power. Amun is the oldest vampire. Amun's exact age and birthdate are a mystery, along with when and how he was turned, but he's listed as being born before 2500 BC. So he's thousands of years old. Unfortunately, those are not the only details about Amun that were left a mystery in the Twilight universe, as it's also unknown what his powers are. All vampires in this universe have special abilities. However, readers and viewers did get to know a bit about his personality and the dynamics with his coven. Amun was actually mistrustful and paranoid, and he was especially protective of Benjamin. When he and his coven were approached by Carlisle, who wanted them to help his family testify against the Volturi's accusations, he accused Carlisle of trying to steal members of his coven, especially Benjamin, and his elemental manipulation power that made him one of the most valuable assets in the vampire world. Amun's ability to survive put him at the Volturi's mercy. While it's never elaborated what Amun's powers are, he does have one very useful skill: survival instincts. Before the Volturi rose to power, Amun was part of a powerful, lavish Egyptian coven, but he gave up the lifestyle he loved when it was clear the Volturi were too great a threat. He and Kibi were the only vampires in their coven to bend to the Volturi's will and leave their old life behind, which allowed them to survive, but it also put them at the Volturi's mercy. Amun had done exactly what Arrow wanted, and in doing so he became an example. For centuries afterward, Amun had to work hard to keep himself and his coven hidden from the Volturi, which explains his reluctance to come out of hiding to help Carlisle in the Twilight saga.